So let's go into that because this leads all into the big man on campus at Disney World now, Bob Chapek, the people that the man that everybody hates, Bob Chapek. Can you give us your opinion on him? You know, we're not going to try to hate on him. I personally think he's done a terrible job. But besides that, you know, can you give that honest opinion on what you think about Bob Chapek's job with Disney in general?
Right. And I think the problem goes to, as a Disney Parks fan, I'm not so much into Marvel and all the large IPs.
Same.
My love for Disney comes from the parks, not necessarily the movies. But we have to remember, Bob is not a parks guy.
Right.
Bob is a business guy. And Disney is making their money, yes, obviously from theme parks, but a large chunk of that is from Marvel, from Disney Plus, streaming services. So I think he's obviously coming at it from a business standpoint. But as a parks fan, we want to feel that love and we want to feel that care because that's how Disney started. So I feel like he's just kind of missing the overall picture and at least not even kind of trying to, you know.
My thing is he's a merchandise guy. This guy wants to sell. It's all about money. Like you said, it's all about raising prices, and they keep raising the prices for the regular tickets, for the annual passes, which are not even being sold anymore. But when they were being sold, you know, I remember I had the annual pass. It was the water parks and more. And you got golf, you got the water parks and more, and you were paying a pretty hefty sum, but you could get that. Now I have the full tilt annual pass. I'm not guaranteed that I can go every day anymore because of the reservation system.
Right.
I don't have the water parks and more anymore because they got rid of it and they don't have that on an annual pass. So it's just a cheapened pass and you're paying more money. And then you don't get the fast pass anymore. And, you know, I have a family member with disabilities, and what they did to the disability pass is a total joke. I mean, it's really terrible what Disney's doing. And in a way, I'm a huge Disney fan, such as yourself. But in the end, I hope Universal puts the full court press on and takes them down another notch because they need that. They truly need that. They need somebody to take them down a notch and say, listen, this is Orlando is not your game now. It's both of our games. You better up your game. Otherwise, we're going to knock you out.
Yeah, and I feel like you're saying, that has made it exciting to be a Universal Orlando fan again.
Right.
I will say again, because there was a chunk of time where I didn't really go there.
Right.
And I fell in love with it again a few years ago before, you know, the pandemic and everything started. So this is kind of exciting for me, especially because they have just been continually upping their offerings. Like I said, with the festivals, their food in general around the entire property has become amazing. And actually some of the restaurants there, I love even more than what Disney World offers. So I think that's an exciting part about it. At the same time, you know, Disney's a premium experience and they're basically saying, we know we're premium, so we're going to charge premium. So it is booting a lot of people out. But in my opinion, there's a reason I don't go to Six Flags. There's a reason I don't go to some of these parks. And the reason is because I want the best rides. I want the best theming. So I do understand what they're trying to do, but maybe the tactics and the hastiness of it has not been executed as well as we had wanted to, you know.
Yeah. I think Universal sees the blood in the water and they're getting ready to take full advantage of it. I want to move on to some of these other topics. There's been a lot of talk about Star Wars Land. Obviously, that took place in 2018. It's been somewhat successful, but not as successful as a lot of Disney executives thought it was going to be. And now I'm hearing these rumors that the new Star Wars hotel near Hollywood Studios, which has incredible theming, but a lot of people, you know, it was a full capacity, and now a lot of people are dropping out due to the prices, due to, you know, other things that have been going on in the economy in general. So are you hearing that now with the Star Wars hotel that, you know, it's kind of full and now people are slowly starting to trickle out?
Yeah, so with the Galactic Star Cruiser that's getting ready to open, apparently it was full reservations, I think, for the first 3 months.
Right.
And then there was a promotional video that came out, which I'm sure you saw. It was a marketing video. And it was just, I mean, it was not well done. You know, you would think Disney has access to the best in, you know, production, filmography, cinematography. And it was almost like the video was thrown together. And I think for someone, I mean, I don't have a reservation booked because, you know, that's not my cup of tea, and I'll get there when I get there. But to spend thousands of dollars, that's a lot, you know, and you're going to want to be cautious and at least maybe see what happens when it opens, you know? So it's like, hey, I don't know because I haven't been there, you know, it's not open yet, but I am curious to see what it's going to look like, because, you know, we're going to see every in and out from all of the folks that are going to be there right at the beginning when it opens. So,
well, Disney did take down that video right,
yes.
right after people were giving it bad reviews. So it kind of fits with the narrative that you're speaking about. I'll just tell you that.
Right. Yeah. And it's like with social media and everything these days, you just have to be so careful. So again, with social media, the good thing is we will see very soon, very early on, what the Galactic Star Cruiser is all about, because we'll see everyone post the photos of the food, the bar. So I think that'll help people make an informed decision if they want to spend $6,000, you know.
The annual passes in, I believe, both parks in Disney are fully gone. There's no talk about when they're coming back. I believe this is truly, again, about Bob Chapek and making money. Why should we get somebody that, yeah, it's a lot of money, over $1,000. It's like, you know, almost 1,500 if you get the full on, the big best pass. But yeah, and that's a lot of money, and you get it straight at one time. But why wouldn't I just want people, you got a family of 4 or 5, and they're going to pay 100 something bucks. They're going to go in and eat. They're going to go in and buy merchandise. And in the end, I'm going to be making more off that family than if a family that's annual pass holder, that's not going to go in and eat probably. That's not going to go in and buy merchandise. They're just going to go.
I feel like they are missing the mark and kind of undervaluing the annual pass holder, because a lot of the, you know, especially local APs that I know, me, myself included, I'm dropping money when I go. I'm not bringing in a pub sub, you know, I'm going out to eat. I'm going there for all the experiences. There's a lot of times where I won't even ride an attraction, but, you know, I'll go have a $20 margarita. I'll go eat some food. So I feel like there's another side to that. But of course, it is way easier to rely on the family that's coming once a year and dropping like 15 grand on their vacation.
Well, they're thinking too that somebody that lives in Celebration that's going to annual pass, you know, like me, is going to go in there and probably not eat, probably not buy anything. You know, you might buy some stuff, but usually, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're not. And then you also, you're not going to be staying at a hotel. So they're not going to be making money off the hotel. Well, all these people that are coming on vacations, they're going to be making the hotel, the food, you know, they're just going to be raking it in, where these people may drop about 30, 40 grand by the time they're done, you know, depending on how many people are with them, of course.
Right. I could see them opening up Disney World's higher tier annual passes sooner rather than later, because for availability, there's almost availability every single day. So I
wasn't like that at the beginning.
Right. Now it is like that. So I could see some changes. Disneyland's another story. It's been a lot rougher as an magic key holder at Disneyland to get reservations. It's getting better now, but yeah, I could see them opening up APs sometime in the near future.
Do you know why they shut it down in both parks?
So I don't know the reason. They are just trying to get in, like you said, those day pass ticket holders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was told too, like you stated, that most of the people in Disneyland were the locals.
Right. And that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it always has been. It's been a large local, but I know a lot of locals now that didn't get the magic key because they were just so uncertain about how the reservation system would work. And they were kind of right. I mean, it has happened. It's been hard to get reservations there. Long gone are the days where, you know, if you lived in LA, you'd go off of work and like, oh, I'm driving down to Disneyland. You really can't do that as much anymore. And there's sometimes you can get day of reservations, but like for me, I would have to plan out when I'm in LA a few weeks in advance to be able to snag a reservation. So it doesn't, that on the fly thing just isn't there, which is sad because that's a lot what Disneyland is all about.
Right. Let's kick it around with the reservation system. So with the reservation system, for people that don't know, you know, obviously you have to make a reservation. You said that as far as Disney World with the reservation system, it's pretty wide open now. Maybe on a holiday you might have trouble, but other than that, you're pretty good to go. Whereas Disneyland, it's not the story. Now, there was talks that the reservation system was just going to be for COVID. Now I'm hearing that this could last quite a long time
Right,
in
and
the
I think
future.
they officially said it's sticking around for the future. So sticking around could be for this year. I don't love it, because I'm not a early planner, so I don't love that I have to commit to something. I also am a park hopper, so it is not
Yeah.
uncommon when I'm there to go to 3 parks in a day, maybe start at Hollywood, go to Epcot, go back to Hollywood, go back to Epcot. Like, I love to run all around. So it does make it a little bit difficult for, a lot of people. But again, if you are a once a year visitor, you're probably not doing that. So, so it's easy for them to commit to the reservation of the park that they're making.
I do want to go into Disney Genie because, again, I've heard extremely bad reviews that if the ride, which Star Wars rides in Hollywood studios go down fairly often.
Rise of the Resistance goes down every day.
Right. All right. So Rise of the Resistance going down every day. With Disney Genie, if I buy Rise of the Resistance for 11 o'clock in the morning and it's down at that time and I go back when it's up, I can't get on, and they took my $15 along with the other $15 of maybe the 3 other people I was with as far as a family goes. So I'm screwed. I think that's a terrible practice. That's not fair to people. That's a terrible experience that you're creating for them. They're going to have a lot of complaints because of this system.
Right.
And again, it's all about money. You can be money hungry and you will get money with Disney. They were getting money when they were just doing Fast Pass. They were getting loads of it. Profit margins were huge. And now they're just starting to do these things. And we've talked about this throughout the whole interview, Carly, where they're starting to do these things, being extremely money hungry. And I think in the end, it's going to nip them in the butt. It might be good for a little while, and they might see some really good profits. Eventually, people will catch on, and they'll look in their pocketbook or their wallet and say, I don't have this kind of money to do this, and we're not doing this year.
Right. Yeah. And to what you're saying about, Rise of the Resistance going down, it becomes even more complex of a problem because, hey, I made 12 o'clock 50s primetime reservations. Now the ride closed. Right. I have to now miss my lunch, which is $10 a person if you make a reservation.
Yep.
So you have to go to guest services to fix, the lightning lane that you booked. Then you have to go to guest services. Hey, I have to cancel my dinner, so I'm not charged. So it is, it's complicated. If you want people to rely on technology, which you're kind of being forced to rely on technology on a Disney vacation, you have to make it so the technology is at least a little bit user-friendly and leaves room for errors, not on the user, but, when a ride goes down. And I will say I was just at Disneyland last week, and I didn't get Disney Genie. I didn't really use the app. And I was able to go on most rides within 15 minutes, and it was an amazing experience. Just on my own, I wasn't looking at the forecasted wait times. So I think you could still, wing it on a vacation, but, this is someone who's there all the time, who kind of knows how to navigate the land. So I do think that it makes, a normal person with a base level of Disney, it makes their vacation very complicated.
Yeah, and they still haven't fixed out some kinks I've heard through YouTube videos where, people will try to play and it doesn't work and they got to go through it 100 times. Not to mention the Disney Wi-Fi is not the greatest sometimes.
Yes,
with
I'm
many people
off.
on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I usually have mine turned off, especially if I'm trying to, make a reservation or whatnot.
Right. So it's just not good. All right, we'll go to the speed round with the audience questions. Favorite park?
Epcot.
Epcot, okay. A favorite ride?
Probably Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
So good, yeah.
I like Rock and Roller Coaster. I can't go on Space Mountain. It freaks me out. Where Rock and Roller Coaster, I'm fine.
Yeah, I love Space Mountain, but the Disneyland version is my favorite one.
Okay. Favorite show?
Favorite show? I would say Mariachi Cobra in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. They're historic. Okay. I mean, they've been around for so long, and that's just, incredible musicianship.
What about like a Disney show? Like, I know the Frozen in Disneyland is amazing, or even Festival Lion King over at Animal Kingdom. What's your favorite show kind of like that?
I guess right now it would probably be Harmonious at Epcot.
Okay.
I love Epcot
Fireworks.
fireworks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I miss Illuminations. I haven't seen Harmonious either, but I used to.
Illuminations was my favorite. So
Was Illuminations your favorite than over any of the Magic Kingdom fireworks, though?
I would say way back when Wishes at Magic
Wishes
Kingdom
was classic.
the
Yeah.
soundtrack to that was just perfect.
Favorite resort?
Ooh, Polynesian Village Resort.
Okay.
Or nowadays, this is kind of crazy. I mean, resorts are very expensive now.
Yeah.
So I'm not usually staying at Polynesian Village Resort, but I'm hanging out there a lot. I have been loving staying at Pop Century. They just redid the rooms. It's affordable. The beds are very comfortable, and you have the Skyliner right there to take you to Hollywood and Epcot. So I feel like that's overall right now a very attractive resort.
I used to go to Pop Century quite often. I rode that Skyline almost every night when Disney finally opened after COVID.
I love Skyliner. I'm usually going over to the Riviera Resort because I love their coffee shop.
Yes. It's beautiful. It's nice and relaxing.
Yeah,
and I loved it when you were by yourself on there because it was nice and calm. I know.
So I will say, as long as it's not super busy, they haven't been loading you with other parties. So my last couple visits, probably a couple weeks ago, even up to then, I was not loaded with another party. So just so you know, yeah, they won't cram you in there unless it's, you know, after when the park's closed. I probably wouldn't want to take the Skyliner anyway. But if you're doing a nice, you know, afternoon ride, relaxing, you're probably not going to be with another.
Listen, I went, Carly, one night, and I was a dumbass for doing this. I went over to Epcot when Epcot was closed. Actually, it was even before Epcot closed. It was around like 7 or 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh, it was a freaking disaster. I just walked around Boardwalk and just walked back to Hollywood Studios. It was a lot faster.
It's insane. I usually, honestly, will call an Uber or Lyft to Boardwalk or Yacht and Beach Club because there's no way to exit the park if you want to take the Skyliner after. You know, it's just busy. Everyone's trying to get somewhere.
What about favorite pool at a resort?
Ooh, hold on. I would probably say Yacht and Beach Club because they have that insane pirate ship with the slide. I mean, that's a top-notch slide. But I will say, I know you're talking about Disney. My favorite pool in general in Orlando is at the Hard Rock Hotel at Universal. Their pool is amazing. It's one of those step-in ones. I forget, it's zero, just like the step-in pool, and they have underwater speakers. So you go underwater and they're blasting like rock music.
Favorite restaurant?
Wine Bar George at Disney Springs. Incredible. It's the only Somali owned and run restaurant in Florida. Their burrata is incredible. They have 200 glasses of wine available, even by the ounce. So you can really try something really cool, push yourself outside your comfort zone. And their skirt steak is amazing. Usually where I'm eating.
All right. And the last 2 questions. Favorite festival at Disney or at Universal, wherever you want to.
I will do Festival of the Arts. Going on now at Epcot is Food and Wine Festival. I used to go to, obviously, I still go to. I've been going since it started in the 90s, but it's so big now. There's dozens of booths. It is the most, it's the most visible one in far as terms of what people know about. So there's a lot. It's busy. Very, very busy. So I'm kind of, you know, I still go, but it's not my favorite. I love the quaintness of the arts. The food is incredible. This year included has been amazing. They have the Encanto booth with this incredible spicy soup. They have a new Moroccan booth that I loved, and it's just, it's incredible. That's what I'm trying to tell people now is like, you have to go, you know, Food and Wine is the OG. Try some of the other festivals. I love the holidays too. I think they do a really good job with that.
Have you been on Ratatouille yet, though?
I have, yes, a few times.
What's the verdict on that?
So I didn't love it when it was at Disneyland Paris either. I've been there a few times, so I've been on it before it came to America. Our version is more or less the same exact thing. It's cute, you know. I think it's good for kids. It's a lot of video screens, so it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Universal. It's video screens, and I kind of wished they took a note from the Secret Life of Pets attraction because it could have worked in the exact same setup, but with just out the video screens, without as many video screens. You know, I don't love it. it's not something I would wait to go on.
I haven't watched it yet on YouTube because I want to kind of get that experience myself.
Right.
But I was told that that it wasn't going to be as many. But thank you for telling me that it is. So I'll go in with a little bit of lower expectations
Right.
on how I feel
It's
on it.
video screens. So like I said, if they did it like Secret Life of Pets, I would be all about it.
Right. Last question is, where can people find more about you and read about you in
So
general?
I have my website is adventuresbycarly.com, and so I post usually my latest articles up there and whatnot. And then I am very active on Twitter and Instagram, so I'm usually posting about my adventures as I'm there, what I'm eating, what I'm loving at the parks at the moment.
Carly, what is the Twitter and the Instagram for people that want to follow you?
Yeah, my Twitter is Carly Caramanna, which is just my name, and then my Instagram is Adventures by Carly.
All right,
Carly, yes.
All right, Carly, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and we hope to have you on to talk more Disney and Universal sometime soon.
I would love to.
All right.
Thank you so much.